Hey Mel,
Hey Marg, how you going?
good. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
That's
Great.
good.
So I wanted to talk to you today about your book, Having Your Cake and Eating It Too.
Goodness me, guess what? I have a copy too.
How does it get any better than that?
How does it?
Two people choosing more. Okay, cool. So what I wanted to know from you first up was how did you come up with the idea of writing this book? Um, and how does, it says here, the hedonist guide to opulent, decadent, and orgasmic living. Because before I read the book, I had no idea what that means. I didn't even know what hedonism meant. So, if you could, you know, give us a little idea on what that was for you and how you came about the book.
Sure. Actually, it was interesting because truly, before I even wrote this book, I had no idea that I would ever become a published author. English was never one of my favourite subjects at school. As a matter of fact, I got higher grades for French and German than I ever did for English. So I thought it was a bit bizarre that here I was writing a book. The whole idea came from, I guess, I have been facilitating people now for over 30 years in personal development, professional development, and in health. I had a naturopathic clinic for a lot of years as well. And so, in coaching and inspiring people to more, one thing I always got was really most people had no clue what it is they truly desired to have as a creative, generative life.
Yeah.
So that was really what inspired me. And when I became an Access Consciousness facilitator 12 years ago, I saw it more and more as I was facilitating the Access core classes. And that's truly what did inspire me to write the book. The book is about stepping into the energies of hedonism or hedonism, depending on what country you're in and how you pronounce it, opulence, decadence, orgasmic living. These are the energies from which, these are the creative energies. So these are the energies that the more you're actually being the vibration of those energies, more starts to show up in your life. Your willingness to even know what they mean. And in the book, I do give meanings of each of the energies so that you have a sense of what they are so you can be it. It's the willingness to be those energies that creates more in your life. So true hedonism or hedonism is being a pleasure seeker. Now, a lot of people say to me, well, I don't have the money to pleasure seek. Well, is that really true? And do you require money for pleasure seeking? So the thing is, I just went walking this morning, and I have to say I've been doing bushwalking for the last 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a thing about snakes. So I always ask the snakes to disappear before I start walking on the track.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot to ask this morning. So guess what crossed my track this morning was a snake. So I thought that was really bizarre. So the thing is, though, in the pleasure of being in the bush, in being in nature and having the contribution of everything, the energies of the trees, of nature, of the snakes, of the animals in the bush, that's being a hedonist or a hedonist. And because that's the contribution of pleasure seeking, it's a pleasure for me to receive those energies. So
Yeah.
that's just a very much in a small way of explaining what that energy is particularly.
Yeah. So I know. So I've read your book, and it's the first book that I've ever read that when I closed it, I knew that I was a different person. I knew that I had had so much change from reading it, and it actually, it was a joy, like it was. And what I learned was, I had shut out all joy, all fun, all happiness from my life. Not just shut it out, but totally refused to receive it, from so many different, just everything, people, things, whatever.
Right.
And so so since finishing it, you don't just close the book and that's it. Like, it continues to have like this reverberation throughout your whole life. And I've been able to receive more joy, more fun, more happiness, and really and choose it. But it's been this more of an ease for it. And then also, like I was saying earlier, for the first time in God knows how long, I've actually perceived excitement in my life, being present now and in my future. And I haven't done that for a very long time.
Wow.
So, you know, that's just some of what I got out of reading your book. And I know there is way more to it. And I've had so many aha moments, you know, like the way you've explained stuff. Just yeah, it really resonated with me. And I think it's a fabulous book that, you know, everyone should read, you know.
Thank you. And actually, it's really cool hearing you say that, because that was really the target that I set when I wrote the book. I really wanted to bring the tools and techniques of Access Consciousness into the world to those who have never heard of Access Consciousness or who aren't aware of how phenomenal these tools are for changing anything that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And for me, the whole catchphrase of Access is empowering people to know that they know. It's about living it as a question and in the question. So the book is actually full of questions that for most people have no clue what it is to ask a question. And I know when I first came to Access 12 years ago, I actually had a notepad and would write down questions as soon as I heard someone, a facilitator, say a question, or if Gary, the founder, said a question, I'd quickly write it down with the view of, oh my God, I have to use that question.
Yeah.
And I was so caught up in trying to get it right. You know, I wouldn't even ask a question without my trusty little notepad beside me. So I'm hoping that this book, even if people carry it around with them, to actually remind themselves of how much a question opens you up to a whole new world of possibility. And until you actually ask questions, most people live from conclusion, and that is actually what stops the energy. It stops the creative, generative energies.
Yeah.
And truly, for us all to have more, we have to be in those energies.
And, you know, the book, like you said, you're an Access Consciousness facilitator. You don't have to do Access or know anything about Access to read this book. Like my partner, I mean, yeah, he lives with me. He's heard of the tools and stuff, but he doesn't do Access like I do Access. And, you know, it's creating change in his life, and he, you know, doesn't seem to be aware of it, but I'm aware of it. And, you know, he said something to me the other day, and I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, there's some money, go and do that. And I was like, what? And he's sitting there with your book in his hand, you know, and I'm like, giggle, giggle, giggle. There's change going on over there, and he has no idea. But he's giving me money, so okay, I'm going to receive that.
Awesome. But that's really what I desire more than anything, is that this book gets into the hands of people who have never heard of Access to start using the tools. And it doesn't matter if they never attend an Access class. To me, it's just about having tools and techniques to know you can change anything that's not working for you. And this book, like, what would it take for it to create so much change for people that their lives do truly become ease, joy and glory?
Yeah. And like you said before, you have those questions, and I was going to say, like, it does keep you in the question, and it gets people asking questions even when they realize they don't ask questions or whatever it is. It's like it creates an ease, you know, in people's lives, that they don't have to worry about asking a question because they're just reading it, and it's having that effect in their life no matter what. And, you know, I
actually have one person who hadn't had a job for 12 months, and within a week of reading it was offered 2 jobs.
Yeah.
So, and this person has done no Access whatsoever. So I've got so many testimonials of just reading the book and the change that it does create for people.
Yeah.
So, like, what else is truly possible?
Yeah.
When you're choosing that.
Yeah. And I'm definitely going to read it again, because I know each time I read it, it will change something else, and it'll be just another layer.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fun just to flip through it and open up a page and read. And I often go through it and just read the questions that you put in there, and the what if questions, because they're really great too. And I'm like, oh, I like that.
Yeah, I know. There's so much more possible and available if we're actually willing to be aware of that and choose it.
Yeah.
And you know, people go into, oh my God, I can't choose. It really is as simple as, you've got 10 seconds to live the rest of your life. What do you choose? And for me, it's like, okay, I'm going to choose to have a glass of water. It's that easy to make a new choice.
So from the book, what's like next from this? What do you?
Well,
What?
great question. Thank you. From that, we've created 2.5-day workshops. The whole idea of the workshops is to start to facilitate people to be these energies,
Yeah.
to change the vibration out of the lack and limitation into the energies of orgasmic living and opulence and decadence and hedonism. The thing is, it's not about money. It's not about or requiring money to be a hedonist or to have or to be these energies. It's because money comes and plays with you when you step into those energies.
Yeah.
So money always follows fun and joy. So the more you change your vibration to become these energies, that's when more money will start to show up in your life.
Yeah.
So we will, on the 2.5-day workshops, we'll be bringing in the elements of what it is to have more of what your body truly desires, to step into those vibrations. Things like eating some great food and drinking great drinks for our bodies. But it's also so much more than just food and drink. It's the willingness to look at all your choices from those energies.
Yeah.
And then from there, what we're going to do also is I've got a book club that's starting. So I've got is picked 8 chapters from the book. I think there's 15 chapters, but we're doing 8. And each month we're going to do a book club that opens up and facilitates you to have so much more on what is truly possible and available to step into.
And that's really exciting, because this, I remember just looking at the title of your book and, having your cake and eating it too. And to me, I just kept seeing a cake,
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't willing to see anything else. But now it's like there's so much more to it. Like there's so many different areas that this can cover and that people can change. And, like we had a conversation the other day and we were talking about, the energies of, and in your book you mentioned the creative and generative energies. And I was having this awareness in my chest, and we talked about things that we use to stop ourselves. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to allow this to stop myself. So I changed that energy from an energy of stopping to a generative and creative energy. And I just put it out to the rest of my life, because it's like, and I just did that, so I was no longer stopping myself with that. And I know that I got that from your book and from you, I'm like, yeah, I'm not stopping myself. No more. Just change it. Out it goes. And anyone can change it. Anyone can change anything in their lives.
Absolutely.
And so I'm really excited about the workshop.
Thank you.
Definitely.
And I'm so grateful that, you're choosing so much more. When there's enough of us on the planet really creating and generating, we can actually change what's going on in the lack and the scarcity and the pain and suffering. There's so much more available when there's enough of us stepping into that. But that's all fun. For me, that's fun to be those energies and enjoy every moment, good, bad, and ugly. And that's really what this is all about to me now. It's the willingness to have so much more possible and available.
And another thing, I've also had more of a communion with my body since reading your book.
Yeah.
I walked to the shopping centre the other day and I just started walking down total opposite direction, and I was like, oh, body, where are you taking me? And I went into like the health and beauty aisle. I'm like, oh, what do you want? And I just stopped, turned around, and it was showing me, hair, like masks and treatments, because I was saying, oh, I need to put something in my hair, body, what would, and I totally forgot I asked it, but it just took me there. And it was like the first time I was really clear on the information it was getting me, and I just followed the energy of it, and I went, okay, this one, okay,
Yeah.
There we go. And it can be easy.
Absolutely. And it's interesting, having your cake and eating it too title was actually a very British thing. And it was actually, most of us probably as kids have been told you can't have your cake and eat it too. Yeah. In other words, what that is a metaphor for is that you can have this choice or this choice, but you can't have both. And so we've all been raised with the point of view that you can't actually have everything you truly desire. And, you know, that is the biggest lie that has been perpetrated against us. When you're truly willing to have your cake and eat it too, you can have it all. And it's not about being greedy. It's not done from an energy of need and greed. It's just done from the energy, the creative, generative energies, and the what else is possible. The universe really desires us to have everything. It's only our points of view that stop us from that. So when you're really willing to step into having your cake and eating it too, you will see how much your life will expand and grow beyond your wildest dreams.
Yeah. And that's
exciting. I'm excited.
How does it get any better than that?
How does it? Yeah. Well, I'm excited to be able to facilitate that for people, because I know myself, I was raised in a lot of lack and scarcity. And so to me, it's really been the tools of access consciousness that I have chosen to step into so much more. So I'm so grateful now that I can empower others with that.
Yeah, definitely.
So just to, as we wind up, I'd just love to let people know that I'm doing a 2.5-day workshop in Australia. I've got one coming up on the Sunshine Coast at the end of February. I've got one in Tokyo, Japan, coming up later in the year. I've got one in the US in California, and I'm creating others worldwide as we speak. So hopefully we'll have one in Ireland coming up, in a few other countries around the world. And yeah, what fun. Who wants to come and play and start to discover the what else is possible in their lives. And if you can't join us with those, we've got the book club starting in March. So how does it get any better than that? What fun can we have?
How does it? Well, thanks, Mark. Thanks for chatting today.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you, Mel, and thank you so much for keep choosing more of you and being an invitation to others. So I'm so grateful. What else is truly possible?
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.